Hello and welcome. My name is Rory, and today, as part of our Green Futures themes, we are going to be taking an opportunity to explore the traditional art of storytelling. Now, in Scotland for many years, people have shared stories to help people understand their place in nature, to teach important life lessons, and to help people build an emotional connection to the well-being of their environment. Today, we're going to be hearing from Allison Galbraith, who's going to be sharing with us one traditional Scottish tale to help us to begin to think about our visions of a greener future.
Once upon a long time ago, Scotland was ruled by two goddesses, Bridie and Beera. Although they were sisters, they couldn't have been more different. Bridie was fair, with bronze sun-kissed skin. She smiled wherever she went, and when she ruled the land, everyone was happy. Beera was as ugly as her sister was beautiful. She had blue mottled skin, purple snaggled hair, and her eye was in the middle of her forehead and glowed red. When Beera ruled, rain, wind and snow followed, and everybody hid inside their houses miserable. Back then, most of Scotland was covered with trees, and the people depended upon them for food, shelter and warmth. They picked the nuts and fruit and fed them to themselves and their animals, and they cut down trees to build simple round houses to live in. In the winter, they collected fallen branches from the forest floor to make fires to heat their homes and cook their meals. When Bridie ruled, the trees unfurled their leaves, flowers bloomed, fruit ripened, and everybody loved Bridie's generosity. They sang and danced her praises. They didn't celebrate when it was Beera's turn to rule, and over the years, Beera grew more and more jealous of her sister. Beera and Bridie had an agreement. When one ruled the land, the other stayed in an island far to the west. One summer, when it was Beera's turn to be exiled onto the island, she looked into her magical rock pool to see what the people were doing in Scotland, and she saw that they were having yet another party in honour of her sister. It made her sick. She decided on a wicked plan, and she summoned a great dragon to the island. She whispered her plan into his big golden ear, and then she conjured up an enormous rain cloud. She hid the dragon inside the rain cloud and watched eagerly as dragon and cloud flew swiftly to Scotland. When the cloud arrived above the land, it blocked out the sun and started shooting giant balls of fire down onto the land. The fire burned the pine trees. It destroyed the fruit bushes and the nut trees, and all of the wild animals fled for their lives. The king called his best huntsman and all of the archers, and he said, "I think there is a dragon up in that cloud. If we do not slay the dragon, it will destroy our beautiful forest." So the huntsmen hurled their spears at the cloud. Archers let arrows shoot up into the cloud, but because they couldn't see the dragon hidden within, their weapons missed the mark, and still the cloud rained down fire upon their village. The king called a meeting of the wisest men and women, but none of them knew what to do. Then a young girl came to the castle claiming that she knew how to get rid of the dragon. The guards laughed at her. How can a little girl think she can solve this problem? But the king smiled kindly and beckoned her to him. When the little girl whispered her idea into the king's ear, his face lit up and he nodded his head. He ordered the hunters and warriors to go to the top of the highest hills, and then he ordered that everyone in the kingdom was to take all of the baby animals away from their mothers. They were to take lambs away from ewes. They were to take piglets away from pigs, foals from horses, calves from cows, chicks from hens, and ducklings from ducks. They were even to take human babies away from human mothers. When they took all the baby animals away, what do you think happened? Yes, they began to cry. Chicks peeped, ducklings quacked, foals neighed, lambs baaed, piglets squealed, cows mooed, calves mooed, and human babies screamed and cried, "Wah!" Up in the cloud in the sky, the dragon heard the terrible noise, and he wondered what on earth was happening. Then he got worried that there must be something bigger and more scary than him making all the creatures of the land cry. He needed to see. He stuck his head cautiously out the edge of the cloud. He couldn't see anything terrifying down there, so he slipped a little further out of the cloud, and when his chest was visible, the warriors threw their spears, the archers let loose their arrows, and the dragon roared in pain, shot up through the cloud and flew away and was never seen again. The cloud burst and rained wet rain down onto the fire and put out all of the forest fires. The people came out of their houses and cheered for joy. Their precious forest had been saved.
Thanks, Alison. The Saving the Forest story can be a great jumping off point to discuss all kinds of climate issues. It speaks of seasons out of balance, of young activists, and of course forest fires like we've seen in countries like Australia and the US. Most importantly, it describes a collective effort led from the top down to fix a problem which affects everyone. Now I'm going to leave you with a challenge to write a story of your very own. You see, at the end of Alison's story, when the dragon flew away, I want you to imagine that it flew all the way to your hometown and landed in your favourite green space. Now this could be a play park, a forest, or even your back garden. The dragon is there to cause trouble and wreak havoc, and he says he will, unless you can give him 3 good reasons not to. So have a think. Why do you love being in this place? How does this place make you feel? Why is it important to you? Grab a pen and paper and get creative. Let that dragon know with a short story, and hopefully he'll fly away. I've been Rui, and that's all for us today, but I hope you can join us for our next video very soon.